Welcome to onyouryogamat.com. My name's Jason, and you are watching or listening to Lesson 4 from a 5-lesson beginner's course in yoga, if you've never done yoga before. In this lesson, we are continuing moving through Sun Salutation, which we began the previous lesson, Lesson 3. And before that, and you might want to do this now, Lesson 2 is a great sequence of yoga postures to gently warm up the body. All of these lessons, including PDF guides so you can also see what we're doing, and this will be useful if you're just listening to this as audio file, are on the website onyouryogamat.com, and there are many more resources there. But now we are ready to begin Lesson 4, and we are going to start in Child's Pose. So we bend the knees are a little way apart, feet are behind us, the feet can be close together, maybe touching, as we gently fold forward. And in this variation of Child's Pose, we're going to have our hands and arms behind us, so the palms will be facing up close to the body, and the head gently resting on the mat. If that feels too far to go, you might put your head on a block or a book. We stay here for a few moments to remind ourselves as we move through this yoga system that we take control of our breath. We do this with the mouth gently closed, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, but we start to lengthen our next inhalation and match that with a nice longer exhalation. It's going to vary from person to person, but this would feel like you are now breathing longer, smoother, deeper breaths. As we do this, try and keep the face relaxed and soft, so this breath should seem effortless. Smooth breath in, smooth breath out. It's this full deep breathing that is going to move us through these sun salutations. So it's important to see if you can stay connected there. It is actually quite challenging because the mind can very quickly forget about this full deep breathing. So however you do is perfectly fine, but I would encourage you to see if you can remain with this full deep breathing. Staying here for a few more moments. In this lesson, we are going to have a go at doing 5 sun salutations. Now this might be quite a challenge, so if you only end up doing 3, that's okay. You can always take the time to build up to do a few more. Or the previous lesson, Lesson 3, was about an introduction to this sun salutation. So at any point you can always go back and find that lesson. And the last 2 sun salutations when we get there are going to be counted through by somebody different. And I'll explain who that is when we get there. Just before we begin, we need to talk about the alternative to the cat posture we did in the previous sun salutations to eventually do a posture called upward facing dog. So we're going to have a look at that now. But remember, you can always do the cat posture until you get used to the more challenging upward facing dog. And it goes like this. So from our child's pose, we're going to gently walk the feet and the knees back behind us and the hands in front into that cat posture. And that reminder was the inhale would lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Imagine the abdomen is drawing down towards the ground. The feet are behind us, the legs are active. The shoulders are nice and spacious. The palms are pressing into the ground. Let's just take a few more breaths here because this is a nice warm-up. Now the option eventually, instead of doing this cat posture, would be, when we do it from standing, stepping back the feet further into eventually what we call our plank posture, where the body is in a straight line. The legs are engaged. We're on our toes and the heels are moving back behind us. Now this is more challenging, and the moment you're here it might feel like gravity is taking over and you're being drawn down to the mat. Knees down, chest down first. But keep pressing the hands into the ground as much as you can, elbows in. From there we would do the upward facing dog. We would lift the chest and roll the shoulders back, very similar to the cat posture, but we are lower on the ground. And if it feels okay, there will be a little bit more weight on the tops of the feet with the soles facing upwards. Try to keep the shoulders rolling down wherever you are. It doesn't want to feel like your shoulders are lifting up towards your ears. And if you've never done this before, then just be nice and gentle with yourself to get into this movement. Most likely you're actually doing cobra posture. So eventually the upward facing dog would have the thighs, the legs energized a little bit more off the ground, and we would roll a little further onto the tops of the feet and really keep that lift in the chest. But whether you're doing this upward facing dog or cobra or cat posture, we are now ready to push back into the downward facing dog, and we're going to just hold this as a nice gentle warm up. If we need to, soften the knees, the chest is moving towards the feet. We're now looking back behind us, the neck is free, the head is hanging, the fingers are spread nice and wide into the mat behind our heads, and it feels like the hips are lifting. And in the sun salutations we're about to do, these downward facing dogs are held for 5 breaths. If it's too much to hold the downward facing dog, then you could always bend the knees or come down onto your knees. The most important thing we do is maintain the steady awareness to the breath. Let's imagining we're finishing off this sun salutation. Inhale, look up, walking, stepping the feet to the front of the mat. The feet are now close together. Stay low, lift the gaze. Exhale, this is our first forward bend today, so gently releasing, soften the knees if you need to. Hands wherever feel appropriate, ankles, shins, or maybe fingertips and eventually palms on the ground. And from there, inhaling. Let's stretch the arms up, imagine that space around the shoulders. We look up to our palms, full breath, strong legs, press the feet into the ground, and exhale, hands to sides. So we are ready now for 5 Surya Namaskara A, 5 of the A sun salutation from this Ashtanga based system of yoga. Do whatever feels appropriate. I'll count the first few through just a little bit slower, remembering from the previous lesson, lesson 3, that as much as we can, we coordinate this full, steady, even breath with the movements we're about to do. So keep the face relaxed, keep smiling, keep that steady breath as we begin by inhaling the arms up, full breath, look up. Palms can eventually touch. Remember, more important, the arms are straight, space around the shoulders. Exhale, gently folding forwards, release the hands to wherever feels appropriate on this forward bend. Soften the knees if you need to. Maybe eventually fingertips down near the toes or in front of the feet. As we stay low, we inhale, we lift the gaze, look up, roll the shoulders back. And this is where now we bend the knees, plant the hands down, either stepping back into the cat posture or eventually into our plank and lowering down, elbows in, even if you come down onto your chest. And then from down on the ground or cat, inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Eventually strong legs will be upward facing dog. And from there, wherever we were, pressing gently back into downward facing dog for 5 full steady breaths. Keep the hips lifting and the legs strong is 1 breath. Try and keep relaxing the shoulders. Feel that nice energy pressing down into the palms and the fingers is 2. Your gaze is back behind, between your parallel legs, feet a few inches apart. 3. Make sure you feel comfortable and you can maintain this breath. If you need to soften the knees, you can. 4. And we're going to do 1 more steady breath. 5. And then, preparing to come back through, we look up, inhale, couple of steps, whatever it takes, feet together, front of the mat, stay low, lift the gaze, look up, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, gently folding down, soften the knees if you need to, but feel the feet evenly pressing into the mat. And then the last movement is we inhale, reaching the arms up, we look up to our thumbs, palms are facing each other, and then exhale, hands back to sides, palms facing in. And the second one, again, nice and steady. Inhale, full breath, reaching the arms up, look up. Exhale, gently folding forwards, eventually down with straighter legs. Take it easy on the hamstrings as you release the head, soft shoulders. And hands to either shins, ankles, or eventually down on the ground. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen, look up to the front, And then it's important to bend the knees, plant the hands down, either stepping back into cat or eventually a little bit further from our plank, elbows in as you lower down. Press into the ground as you go down before on the tops of the feet. Inhale, we move slightly forwards and then lift, roll the shoulders back wherever you are, lift the chest, upward facing dog. And exhale, pressing back. You might need to come down onto your knees first, readjust, rolling gently over the toes into downward facing dog. Keep breathing as one breath. If it's too much to hold this posture, just back off or come down onto your knees, is 2. You can take the time and build up the stamina to hold more of these. Don't rush anything. Stay with the steady breath, is 3. Keep the arms nice and active. Feels a little bit like your chest is moving towards your feet. 4. We're trying to gently encourage the spine to lengthen in this downward facing dog, so keep lifting the hips, is 5. And from there, we inhale, look up. Keep looking forwards as you step, walk, whatever it takes, feet together, front of the mat. Keep lifting the chest, look up. Exhale, gently folding down. Press the feet into the ground as you release the head. And a nice smooth inhale lifts the arms up and over. We look up to our palms, shoulders nice and spacious, straight body. Exhale, hands to sides. Good. Just take a breath there. We're about to do our 3rd sun salutation. We are going to go a little bit quicker, and I'm going to count you through the 9 movements to this sun salutation. I'm also going to give you a few less instructions because I know these movements are becoming familiar to you. 1, inhale, reaching the arms up, look up. 2, exhale, gently folding down, release the head. 3, inhale, lift the gaze, roll the shoulders back. 4, all of the options to bend the knees, eventually a little jump or step the feet back as we lower down, or in our cat. Inhale on the tops of the feet is 5, upward facing dog, and as we exhale, 6, gently pushing back into downward facing dog. I'm going to let you count 5 steady breaths through on your own. If you do get to 5, just wait so we can move through together. Keep your awareness fully on every inhalation you take and every exhalation. Wherever you are, try and keep the legs strong, the muscles gently engaged above your kneecaps and thighs. Keep the arms strong and active, fingers spread nice and wide into the mat behind the head. Neck is released, gazing back. Just a few more breaths here. And then the 7th movement is to inhale, look up, whatever it takes to come back through, straight back, look forwards. 8, exhale, gently folding down, release the head. 9, the last movement, inhale, arms up, full breath, look up to palms, breathe in. Exhale, hands by sides, palms face in, feet together. Well done. Now, if you feel you need to have a breather here, you can just pause. You can pause this YouTube clip or audio recording, however you're listening, just take a few moments. We're about to move on and do 2 more sun salutations. These are going to be counted through by a man called Pattabhi Jois. He developed this Ashtanga-based system in Mysore in India. Traditionally, the Surya Namaskara A is counted through with the 9 Sanskrit numbers. You heard me doing it in English. So this sun salutation will sound a little bit different, but if you're watching this, you'll be seeing me do the movements too, which are exactly the same. You've done really well to get this far. Stay with the breathing. Last 2, Surya Namaskara A. Here we go.
Ekam inhale, dve exhale, त्रीणि inhale head up, चत्वारि exhale, पंच inhale, षट् exhale. Breathe, look your navel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sapta, inhale, Ashtau, exhale, Nava, inhale, hands up, Samastitihi, Ekam, inhale, Dve, exhale, Trini, inhale, head up, Chatvari, exhale, Pancha, inhale, Shat, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sapta, inhale, Ashtau, exhale, Nava, inhale, hands up, close your fingers, Samastitihi.
So that was Pattabhi Jois counting you through 2 sun salutations. And the word Samastitihi means the neutral position we're in now, feet together, hands by sides. And that last A sun salutation I was demonstrating is obviously a more advanced version, a way to eventually link the postures so that they flow with the breath, something to work towards over time. The whole purpose of the sun salutations is to warm up the body through that gentle sequence of movements. So we are now ready to do a few more standing postures, and these will be 5 breaths each. And just a reminder here before we start moving, to stay connected to the full deep breathing we talked about at the beginning. Face relaxed, mouth gently closed, breathing in through the nose, nice long breath. Breathing out through the nose, nice long breath. Padangusthasana is a forward bend. We separate our feet now, hip distance apart, feeling the feet evenly pressing down into the ground, and we start to reach down. We can soften the knees if we need to, and this is not dissimilar to the forward bend we did in lesson 3 where we were holding our elbows. But this time, see if you could reach down and maybe hold onto your shins or ankles. Eventually, we would reach down for the big toes with 2 fingers, but don't worry if that feels too far to go. Wherever you are, try and feel the head completely free, the neck is relaxed, and imagine space around the shoulders. That's already 2 breaths, so a few more breaths. If you have the knees bent, that's perfectly fine, but try and feel the legs nice and active, is 3, and eventually the gaze is back between the legs. A couple more breaths. If you need to back off, you can, is 4. Try and feel the feet evenly pressing down to the ground. 1 more steady breath, is 5. And then softening the knees, gently coming up, releasing hands to sides, bringing the feet close together again. And just 1 more standing posture. This is called Utkatasana, fierce posture. If possible, the feet stay together, but if you feel a little unstable, you can separate the feet. We bend the knees as we sink down, and at the same time extend the arms upwards. As the arms lift up, try and feel space around the shoulders. And if it feels okay on your neck, gently look up a little bit further to catch sight of your fingers. Again, staying here for 5 breaths, of which that's already 2. It's more important that your arms are straighter, and then you could bring the palms closer together. Eventually it feels like the arms are going upwards, but for now, if it feels like they're going more forwards, that's completely fine. Just a few more breaths. That's 4. And in this last breath, could you sink down a little bit lower and reach the fingertips a little bit higher? Is 5. And then gently releasing, exhaling as we straighten the legs. Bring the feet together if they were apart, and the hands are down by our sides again. And we're going to come down onto the ground to sit to end this practice. So gently bending the knees, however is comfortable for you to sit down. And again, the option might be to sit on a block to lift yourself up. It's important to feel comfortable as we sit for a few breaths at the end. If that feels okay, gently crossing the legs, then we see if we can sit up fairly tall, relax the shoulders. We can place the hands gently on the knees, palms face down. And we're going to take our gaze downwards. So taking it easy on the back of the neck, tilt the head to look at the space between the knees at the front of your mat. Take a couple of steady breaths now. It might feel like your breath is a little bit quicker because of those movements to the sun salutations. Gently take control again, with the face soft and relaxed and the mouth gently closed. Inhale through the nose, full breath. Exhale through the nose, full breath. And that's 1 round of full deep breathing. We're going to stay here for 10 full deep breaths. Keep sitting up nice and tall as you inhale and exhale is 2. The idea of any yoga practice is to enable us to sit more comfortably like this, with the awareness on the breath, is 3. Notice where your awareness is. Make sure you are following every inhalation and every exhalation. 4. And again, we breathe in smoothly through the nose and smoothly back out through the nose. Is 5. We're about to carry on counting up to 10. If you did want to take this as an opportunity to readjust your legs, possibly crossing your legs the other way round, then feel free to do so. And if you need to, readjusting the hands, placing them back on the knees, sitting up nice and tall, gazing down at the space between the knees, is 6. A few more of these full control breaths to go. The challenge of staying tuned into the sensation of every inhalation and exhalation is 7. Smooth breath in. Cover the breath with your awareness. Smooth breath out, covering the breath with your awareness. 8. And again, breathing in, breathing out. 9. One last full deep breath in and out is 10. From there, lifting the gaze and then uncrossing the legs to lie down to take our final posture, Shavasana, relaxation. Make sure the feet are nice and wide, the legs are straight, let the feet flop out to the side. Take the arms off the edge of your mat, nice and wide, palms face up, and let go. The back of the head is on the mat. We now gently close the eyes, and let go of this fuller, deeper breathing, to breathe whatever feels appropriate for the body. Take a few moments to get used to this sensation of this nice, easy and effortless breath, whatever feels appropriate now for the body to breathe itself. And feeling the rest of the body completely relaxed. Can you imagine you are melting down into the ground? The muscles are completely soft and there is space between all of your joints. We take this time in Shavasana to relax the body, matching the stillness of the body with a still quality of mind that is simply staying tuned into the sensations of the body and the sensation of breath. I'm going to leave you here just for a few minutes for you to completely let go, find this nice, tranquil, peaceful place, and to know that this place is always here. And slowly coming out of Shavasana by moving the fingers, by moving the toes, by taking the hands and the arms up behind the head along the length of the mat, stretching from the fingertips all the way down to the toes. Pausing here to take the right knee gently towards the chest, slowly drawing it in and releasing. And then drawing the left knee into the chest, pausing there for a moment and releasing. Then both knees into the chest as we move from side to side and backwards and forwards. And traditionally staying in this nice curled up position, rolling onto our right side, opening up the eyes, getting our bearings as we slowly come up to sitting however feels comfortable at the front of the mat. Well done for getting through 5 sun salutations in this lesson. Repeating this lesson as many times as you need to so you can eventually work towards doing 5 sun salutations with a nice flow. And from time to time, using the PDF, download the sheet with the postures on and the movements from this sun salutation. See how you get on just doing it on your own. This becomes a great short yoga practice. 5 sun salutations, and eventually you won't even need the PDF, so you'll remember the movements. Takes about 5 minutes, and then following that by sitting cross-legged, just as we did. Maybe you could increase that to 20, 25 or 30 breaths. So that could last a few minutes too. And in that time, developing this steady quality to the mind. And if you're interested in taking this concept further, then on the website onyouryogamat.com are some MP3 recordings of meditation, mindfulness techniques, so you can sit for longer. And that is really one of the reasons yoga traditionally is practiced in the East, to enable us to sit comfortably for longer periods of time. And on the website there are many more resources, and when you feel ready, you might want to repeat lesson 4 a few more times. Then lesson 5, the last lesson of the beginner's course, is moving us towards a 30-minute yoga routine. So I look forward to see you for that next time on your yoga mat. Namaste.